The massive alien vessel cast a shadow over Earth's atmosphere, its metallic hull reflecting the sunlight like a monstrous mirror. June Park sat in the Global Defense Command Center, his hands clasped tightly together, watching the holographic display that showed the unexpected visitor hanging silently above the planet. The transmission came without warning. A deep, resonant voice that seemed to vibrate through every communication system on the planet. "People of Earth," it announced, each word carefully pronounced and laden with an unmistakable sense of superiority. "Your civilization has been selected for integration into the Galactic Confederation." June's colleagues around him remained frozen. Some looked terrified, others confused, but most appeared simply stunned by the sudden arrival. The alien message continued, explaining the terms of humanity's new status with clinical precision. 70% of Earth's resources would be seized. 500,000 humans would be required as labor workforce. All technological systems would be immediately surrendered. The tone left no room for negotiation. It was a demand, not a request. In the background, computer screens flickered, with initial scans of the alien vessel. Its size was incomprehensible, easily larger than most major cities, with technological signatures that made human military hardware look like primitive toys. Defensive systems appeared to be light years beyond anything Earth had ever conceived. June watched as global leaders began emergency communications. The United Nations emergency session was called within minutes. Military commanders from every continent gathered in secure video conferences. Scientists who had spent decades theorizing about potential extraterrestrial contact now found themselves facing the stark reality. The alien vessel didn't move. It simply waited, like a predator, observing its prey, confident in its overwhelming superiority. Military intelligence reports started streaming in. Satellite images confirmed multiple similar vessels positioning themselves around strategic global locations. They weren't just visiting, they were preparing for a systematic takeover. "We have no defensive capabilities," whispered Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the chief scientific advisor, her voice barely audible. "Their technology, it's generations beyond our most advanced prototypes." June understood the implications. Humanity was about to become a conquered species. Generations of human progress, technological advancement, cultural diversity. All of it would be reduced to a footnote in some alien bureaucratic record. But something burned inside him. A spark of defiance that seemed to pulse through the entire human command center. They might be outgunned, outmaneuvered, and technologically inferior, but they were not defeated. The alien transmission repeated its demands. Each repetition felt like a countdown, a timer ticking toward humanity's surrender. In military command centers, research facilities, and government buildings across the planet, humans began to realize that this was not just a moment of potential extinction, it was a moment of choice. Would they submit? Or would they fight? June looked around the room. He saw fear, yes. But beneath that fear, he saw something else. Determination, creativity. The same human spirit that had survived ice ages, world wars, pandemics, and countless other challenges throughout history. The alien vessel continued to hover, waiting for a response. Its silence was more intimidating than any aggressive action could have been. It suggested a confidence so complete, so absolute, that resistance seemed not just futile, but almost comically naive. Little did they know, humanity was about to surprise them. As the global leaders debated and scientists analyzed, a small group of military strategists and technological experts were already set in motion. They understood something the aliens did not. Humans were most dangerous when cornered. Capper. Transmission continued. The demand remained unchanged. But in command centers, laboratories, and secret military installations, the gears of human resistance had already begun to turn. This was not going to be a simple conquest. This was going to be a war, and humanity was preparing to fight. The underground research facility hummed with quiet intensity. Hera Kim stood before a massive holographic display, her eyes scanning complex diagrams of modified nuclear weaponry. Around her, a team of scientists worked with a mixture of desperation and calculated precision. "We can't fight them with traditional weapons," Hara muttered, tracing her finger along a quantum calculation. The alien technology had already demonstrated capabilities that made human military hardware look like children's toys. But humans had always been good at one thing: adapting. In hidden facilities across the globe, similar conversations were happening. Military commanders, scientists, and strategic experts worked in absolute secrecy. The global communication networks had been deliberately fragmented. No single transmission could be fully intercepted or decoded. Dr. Michael Chen from the California Advanced Weapons Research Center had been working on a radical concept. Quantum entanglement warheads, he explained to his team. "We'll modify our existing nuclear arsenal to create something they've never seen before." The plan was audacious. Take humanity's oldest weapons of mass destruction and transform them into precision instruments of survival. Each missile would be more than a simple explosive device. They would become intelligent, adaptive systems capable of penetrating the most advanced alien defensive technologies. In a secure facility in Siberia, engineers worked on propulsion systems. They were redesigning missile trajectories to use quantum navigation principles. Traditional ballistic paths were predictable. These new missiles would move in ways that defied conventional understanding of physics. Hara's team focused on communication systems. They developed a complex network of quantum communication nodes that could transmit information faster than light, creating a communication grid that would be impossible for the aliens to fully intercept or understand. "We're not just preparing weapons," Hara told her closest colleagues. "We're preparing a message." The message was simple. Humanity would not go quietly. Funding came from unexpected sources. Nations that had historically been competitors now pooled their most advanced technological resources. Military budgets were redirected. Research facilities that had been working on competing projects now collaborated with unprecedented speed. In the nascenti, underground bunkers, massive computer systems ran constant simulations. They analyzed every possible alien defensive scenario, creating millions of potential attack strategies per second. Machine learning algorithms worked alongside human intuition, creating a hybrid intelligence unlike anything seen before. The global effort was coordinated but decentralized. No single person knew the entire plan. Each team worked on specific components, creating a complex puzzle that would only make sense when assembled. Satellite networks were reconfigured. Communication systems were hardened against potential alien interference. Every potential vulnerability was examined and reinforced. "They think we're weak," one military strategist commented during a secure video conference. "They see our divided political systems, our historical conflicts. They don't understand our ability to unite when threatened." The preparation wasn't just technological. Psychological warfare teams worked on communication strategies. How do you communicate with a civilization so technologically advanced that they view humanity as little more than an inconvenient species to be conquered? Hara looked at the latest prototype missile designs. They were no longer simple explosive devices. Each one was a complex system, part weapon, part communication device, part intelligent navigator. "We're going to make history," she told her team. The statement hung in the air, part hope, part warning. The alien vessel still hung in orbit, waiting. Its presence was a constant reminder of the impossible task ahead. But humanity had never been good at accepting impossible. In research facilities, military bases, and secret laboratories around the world, the preparation continued. Each hour brought new innovations. Each minute saw another layer of defense being constructed. They were building more than weapons. They were building hope. The morning was unnaturally quiet. Military Commander Wu Choi stood in the central launch control, his fingers hovering above the activation sequence. Around him, computer screens displayed a complex network of missile sites spread across multiple continents. 12 different countries were prepared to launch simultaneously. No single nation would bear the entire responsibility. This was a global response. The alien vessel continued its silent vigil above Earth. seemingly confident in its technological superiority. It hadn't moved, hadn't fired a single weapon. Just waited, watched. Launch sequence initiated, a technician announced. The first missiles erupted from hidden silos. They weren't the crude nuclear weapons of past decades. These were quantum-enhanced, artificially intelligent projectiles designed to adapt and penetrate the most advanced defensive systems. From the frozen tundras of Siberia to the desert launch sites in Nevada, hundreds of missiles burst through the atmosphere. Each one was a complex machine, capable of changing trajectory, communicating with other missiles, and making split-second tactical decisions. The alien fleet's initial response was almost comical. Their advanced sensors detected the launches, but their tactical systems couldn't comprehend the launch pattern. These weren't random attacks. They were a coordinated, intelligent assault. Some missiles carried traditional nuclear payloads. Others contained experimental quantum warheads. A few were pure electronic warfare devices designed to disrupt alien communication systems. Commander Wu watched the holographic display, his face a mask of concentration. Years of preparation had led to this moment. Humanity's survival depended on these next few minutes. The first wave of missiles reached the outer perimeter of the alien defensive screen. Traditional weapons would have been instantly neutralized. But these were different. Quantum entanglement allowed some missiles to partially exist in multiple dimensional states. They phased through defensive energy shields like ghosts, completely undetectable until the moment of impact. The alien fleet's first defensive response was slow. Their systems were confused by the launch pattern. Some missiles appeared to be decoys, others were real threats. But which was which? Explosions began to bloom across the alien vessel's hull. Not massive explosions, but precise, calculated strikes that targeted critical systems. Each missile was hunting specific technological vulnerabilities. Communication networks within the alien fleet began to fragment. Their supposedly impenetrable systems were being systematically disabled. Secondary targets acquired, a technician reported. More missiles launched. This wasn't just an attack. It was a carefully orchestrated surgical strike designed to maximize damage while minimizing total destruction. The alien vessel's defensive systems began to fail. Energy shields flickered. Communication arrays went dark. For the first time, the massive ship looked vulnerable. Humanity had always been underestimated. They were seen as a young, divided species with primitive technology. No one expected them to fight back. No one expected them to be this prepared. Commander Wu allowed himself a small smile. They had surprised the invaders. The missile attack continued. Each projectile was a testament to human ingenuity. They weren't just weapons. They were messages. Messages that said, "We will not be conquered. We will not submit." As the first wave of attacks concluded, the alien fleet was in complete disarray. Their tactical superiority had been turned against them. Their overconfidence had become their greatest weakness. The launch wasn't over. This was just the beginning. Humanity had started its fight for survival, and they were winning. The space around Earth transformed into a chaotic battlefield. Unili's fingers danced across quantum communication panels, tracking every missile, every defensive movement, with inhuman precision. The alien fleet's initial shock had transformed into desperate counterattacks. Their energy weapons blazed brilliant blue-white, cutting through space like liquid lightning. But human missiles continued their relentless assault, adapting faster than the aliens could predict. "Target locked," Una whispered, her eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. Each missile was now more than a weapon. It was an intelligent, combat unit with its own decision-making capabilities. The alien vessels tried classic defensive maneuvers. They grouped together, creating overlapping energy shields. But human strategists had anticipated this. The missiles split into smaller, more aggressive attack groups. Where one missile would be destroyed, 3 would slip through. Quantum communication. Networks allowed human missiles to share tactical information instantaneously. If one missile discovered a weakness in alien defensive systems, every other missile would immediately adapt and exploit that vulnerability. Massive alien ships began to experience critical system failures. Their supposedly impenetrable energy shields started collapsing like fragile glass. Communication networks between their vessels became increasingly fragmented. What the aliens hadn't understood was humanity's capacity for rapid technological adaptation. Every second of the conflict provided new data. Every missile launch was a learning experience. The battle wasn't just happening in physical space. It was a complex dance of artificial intelligence, quantum mechanics, and pure human determination. Some missiles carried specialized electronic warfare packages. These devices didn't just damage, they infiltrated. They began to understand alien communication protocols, disrupting their command structures from within. Alien commanders found their tactical networks becoming unreliable. Communication became garbled. Defensive strategies collapsed into confusion. Una watched as another massive alien vessel began to break apart. Its hull glowed with multiple internal explosions, systems failing in cascading sequences. This wasn't just destruction, it was a systematic dismantling. The human attack wasn't about total annihilation, it was a precise, calculated response designed to demonstrate capability and resolve. Each missile strike carried a message. Humanity would not be an easy conquest. Military strategists on Earth had prepared for this moment for decades. They understood that technological superiority wasn't just about advanced hardware. It was about adaptability, creativity, and the ability to think beyond established patterns. The alien fleet's formations began to disintegrate. What had started as a confident invasion was now turning into a desperate retreat. Quantum-enhanced missiles continued their relentless assault. They moved in patterns that defied traditional ballistic understanding. Some seemed to appear and disappear, striking from impossible angles. Alien command structures are fragmenting, a technician reported. The space around Earth looked like a complex, violent dance. Explosions bloomed and faded. Missiles wove intricate patterns of destruction. Alien vessels tried desperately to maintain some semblance of tactical order, but humanity had already changed the rules of engagement. This wasn't just a battle, it was a declaration, a statement that Earth would not be another conquered civilization, that humanity's spirit of resistance was more powerful than any technological advantage. Una continued her precise movements, coordinating the global defense effort. Each decision, each missile launch, was a carefully calculated move in a massive, cosmic chess game. The alien fleet was learning a harsh lesson. Humanity might look divided, might seem technologically primitive, but when threatened, they could unite with a ferocity that defied understanding. As the conflict continued, one thing became increasingly clear. This invasion would not succeed. Humanity had other plans, and they were just getting started. The silence was deafening. Broken alien vessels drifted like wounded metal giants against the darkness of space. Kang Min stood before the United Nations emergency session, his hands steady, his voice clear. "We have survived," he said simply. The retreating alien fleet left behind more than physical wreckage. They left behind a transformed human civilization. Nations that had been historical enemies now stood united. The shared experience of resistance had changed everything. Global communication networks buzzed with a mixture of shock, relief, and unexpected pride. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had sent a message to the entire galaxy. Scientific teams began studying the fallen alien technology. Each broken vessel was a treasure trove of potential knowledge. Quantum communication systems, advanced energy technologies, complex artificial intelligence networks, all now available for human study. Military research facilities worked around the clock. The technologies discovered would revolutionize human understanding of physics, communication, and space travel. What had started as a defensive war was now becoming a technological renaissance. "They underestimated us," Dr. Harakim explained during a global broadcast. "They saw our conflicts, our divisions. They didn't understand our ability to unite when truly threatened." Satellite networks captured the aftermath. Massive alien vessels, once symbols of technological superiority, now drifted like broken monuments to miscalculation. Each damaged ship told a story of human resilience. The quantum missiles had done more than physical damage. They had infiltrated alien communication systems, revealing complex information about the Galactic Confederation's structure, technological capabilities, and potential weaknesses. Governments around the world began preparing for potential future encounters. The defensive technologies developed during this conflict would become the foundation of a new human space defense strategy. "We are no longer just an Earth-bound civilization," Kang Min continued in his address. "We are now a species that has proven its ability to defend itself against advanced extraterrestrial threats." Communication intercepts suggested that news of humanity's successful defense was spreading across multiple alien civilizations. The Galactic Confederation's reputation of invincibility had been permanently damaged. Scientific teams discovered something unexpected in the alien wreckage. Fragments of communication logs suggested that Earth had been viewed as a low-priority conquest, a simple, technologically primitive planet ripe for easy takeover. That miscalculation had cost the aliens everything. Military strategists began documenting the conflict. Every missile launch, every tactical decision would be studied. This wasn't just a defensive victory. It was a complete reimagining of potential interstellar conflict. The quantum communication technologies developed during the conflict would revolutionize human understanding of information transfer. Universities around the world began developing new research programs focused on the technologies discovered. "We are not alone in the universe," one global news network reported, "and we are definitely not weak." Economic systems began to shift. Countries that had invested heavily in advanced research were now global leaders. The conflict had accelerated technological development by decades, if not centuries. Psychological studies showed an unexpected global transformation. The shared experience of resistance had created a new sense of human unity. Old conflicts seemed suddenly insignificant compared to the larger cosmic context. Space agencies around the world began developing more aggressive exploration programs. The successful defense against the alien invasion had transformed human perception of space exploration from a possibility to an imperative. Kang Min's final words echoed across global communication networks. "Let this be a message to any who would threaten our planet. Humanity will not just survive. We will thrive." The broken alien vessels continued to drift in space, silent monuments to a failed invasion, reminders that underestimating humanity was a fatal mistake. The universe had learned an important lesson. Humanity was ready.